Hi guys, so we're getting ready to write our topic introduction for our SRSD writing today. Hopefully you've already gone and done your SRSD song. Hopefully you've already looked back at your power and tide chart just to remind yourself. And at this point, you should have already done your SRP, your P1, your research, and then your P2 by this point. So let's kind of look back at all the steps that we should have taken so far. So I have my teacher prompt. You have your student prompt. My prompt is, in this unit, we read about people who made important contributions to the United States. One important person was Theodore Roosevelt. Explain how Theodore Roosevelt did something special to help our country. Include 3 facts that support why he's an important historical figure. I already did my SRP, which was I will sing my SRSD song. Everything will be fine, and don't give up. You can do this. I already did that for you in a previous video. Then we went through our P1, which was to pull apart the prompt and to do our do what. So we said from our prompt, we needed to explain, and we used caveman talk to say how Theodore Roosevelt did something special to help the country of the United States. And we needed to also include 3 facts why Teddy Roosevelt was an important figure. That was P1. Then I showed you guys how to do P2. And I said the middle circle was going to be all about special contributions Teddy Roosevelt did for the United States. And I came up with 4 ideas that I could possibly use to write about in my writing piece. So I said Teddy Roosevelt formed the Rough Riders to help win the Spanish-American War. He created the Square Deal to help small businesses and customers be treated fairly. He organized the building of the Panama Canal, and he set aside 230 million acres of land for parks, wildlife, lands, and forests. I looked back at them and I said I only needed 3. So I was just going to choose the 3 that I would be able to talk the most about, write the most about, or the 3 that I feel most comfortable with. So I said I wanted to keep the Panama Canal. I said I wanted to keep the setting aside national park land, and I wanted to also keep the Square Deal because I felt comfortable talking a little bit more about those. Him doing the Rough Riders I could have talked about, but I just really chose to do these 3. These 3 I was more comfortable with. So you can choose your 3 ideas that you're most comfortable with or that you think you can say more about. After all this, we would get to our Tide graphic organizer, and I do have this graphic organizer posted for you under the SRSD folder. So you should be able to see it under there. So either you can print it out if that's easier, and if you have access to a printer. If not, you can draw this. I drew it too, so I can just draw it. So I kind of need to go back to my prompt. And today we're just working on the topic. We're just working on this top part. So I really need to look back at my prompt, and you guys would look back at your student prompt, because I want to use this prompt to come up with my topic. If you guys remember to when Ms. Marchese was showing us how to do SRSD, that's exactly how she showed us. It's exactly what she did. She used the prompt itself to come up with the topic. So it says, in this unit, we read about people who made important contributions to the United States. I can keep that. That's the first part of my introduction. I'm going to take that and I'm going to use green because remember, green is our topic color. So we said, in this unit, we read about people who made important contributions to the United States. I'm going to just borrow it and I'm going to put it right up there. That's how I'm going to start my writing. So in this unit, we read about people who made important contributions to the United States. I took exactly this word for word and I just put it up here. You're going to do the same thing with your prompt. I'm going to keep reading. One important person was Theodore Roosevelt. So I can say, since I'm working on Theodore Roosevelt, I can take this. You would swap Theodore Roosevelt's name for whoever your person is. So I'm going to say one important person was Theodore Roosevelt. You're going to say one important person was Martin Luther King Jr. One important person was Susan B. Anthony. One important person was Jackie Robinson. Whoever you've chosen to do. You're just not going to use Theodore Roosevelt, but you can keep the rest. Now, when I look back at this, and I know that yours is just a little bit different from mine because I think we had to add a little bit more information just to let you guys know what to do. Explain how Theodore Roosevelt did something special to help our country. Remember that for the most part, Ms. Marchese told us that we could change this word explain and we can substitute it instead with the words this is. So let me just see if that makes sense. This is how Theodore Roosevelt did something special to help our country. I think that makes sense, except I want to say he did 3 things, remember, because that's what's coming up next. So I'm going to say this is how Theodore Roosevelt did some things that were special to help our country. This is how Theodore Roosevelt did some things, because remember I need to include 3 facts, so it needs to be more than 1, to help our country. And I know there's a lot of writing up there because I've got a little bit of space to do it. I'm not going to say include 3 facts to support why he's an important historical figure because that doesn't belong in an introduction. That's not how I would write a piece. And remember, if you're including this, I spoke to some of you in a one-on-one and I said, if you're including this, you're not reading and you're not paying attention to what you're writing. So if you're just copying this and throwing it in the topic, you're not paying attention to what you're writing. Some things we can copy exactly, the first 2 lines, for instance. Some things we can't. Some things we have to go back and we have to make sure that grammar makes sense and what we're writing makes sense. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to make sure that my topic introduction makes sense. In this unit, we read about people who made important contributions to the United States. One important person was Theodore Roosevelt. This is how Theodore Roosevelt did some things to help our country. Sounds good, makes sense. So I took my first sentence, I adjusted my second sentence, or I kept it. You're going to adjust your second sentence to replace the word Teddy Roosevelt. And then I adjusted my third sentence to make sense. I didn't just write, this is how Theodore Roosevelt did something to help our country, because I'm thinking and I'm paying attention and I know that he has to do 3 things. So I needed to make this say some things. So when you're writing, you're doing your prompt, but you're also making sure that it makes sense in your topic introduction. So again, you guys know how to do this. You can do this for the most part, I think, pretty much on your own, because I let you go in class and we put some music on and we kind of do our writing on our own. Maybe afterwards you can have your parents check, or parents, you can step in and check your child's work after. But again, this is something that they can very much do. For the most part, I would think that 90% of the class mostly can do this by themselves. Next time, we'll start taking our ideas and we'll start putting them into the important evidence and detailed examination. So that'll be the next video you guys see.